Salutations, my friends, and thank you for tuning in to another one of these mini-casts that we are starting to do. I have titled this episode, or this mini-cast, Externalizing the Occult, because we're going to be looking at just that, how they are indeed trying to popularize or make trendy, or at least let us know that they are practicing this type of high-level occult witchcraft, that they are practicing these types of magic, that they are carrying on these types of rituals. Without spoiling too much and getting right into the meat of the things, let's jump right into the show. So as I said before, this episode is called Externalizing the Occult. Why? Because last week or so, last week, we authored this article, Magic Resistance, the Occult Practices on the Rise. Today, we actually got footage of how there is a Catholic church in London that is putting on a Illuminati-themed fashion show. Now, the Catholic Church, fashion, and the Illuminati, they're all intertwined, without a doubt, and we'll get into that. But what we want to talk about, what I want to raise awareness about with you guys right now is how indeed we are seeing occult practices on the rise, spiritual practices on the rise. In this article that I will leave in the description bar below so you guys can go check it out, in this article I talk about how we hear about Hillary Clinton being involved with VooDoo. We talk about how there's Planned Parenthood teaming up with Satanists to increase abortion rates, which is crazy. And then we also talk about the witches that bind Trump. These are other things that we're going to be going over in this edition, but thoroughly. The article got mixed responses and people were kind of iffy about it. But what I'm really trying to highlight when looking at this type of stuff is to shine a light on what is really going on. You know, whenever you have prominent DC gatekeepers that admit to using occult spells to murder people, I'm talking about Ben Bradley and Sally Quinn. We're talking about how these people do this type of stuff. They are externalizing it. They're making it commonplace. This has become natural. When we have witches that are practicing ritualistic magic every single month, only getting stronger and recruiting other people, who knows what they're doing outside of these scheduled rituals. You see, why is Hillary Clinton still showing her face up? You know, Lady Gaga's over here saying that her fibromyalgia is a byproduct of her deal with the Illuminati. You know, make whatever story you want. The point I'm trying to make by illustrating this is these people, they are practicing magic, they're practicing rituals, they are practicing incantations, they are casting spells, and they're doing more and more of these types of things out in the open, more so than we think. Let's look into this article right here. Prominent DC gatekeeper admits to using occult spells to murder adversaries. And we put this up September 15th. It's from Truth in Action. It's by Hannah Curtis. It says that the faith of the Washington, D.C. political elite and swamp enablers has come right out in the open, as we keep trying to reiterate. Despite all the talk of these creatures being godless slaves to their own selfish carnal whims and pursuit of power, this is only half true. They may be godless, but that doesn't mean that they don't worship Satan. For approximately 50 years, the D.C. social and political world has revolved around a certain couple, Ben Bradley and Sally Quinn. Ben Bradley is actually dead these days, but we'll continuing on. This couple was acclaimed as the new Camelot. Bradley's political rise to fame was largely due to his close friendship with John F. Kennedy. As far as D.C. goes, even today, Sally Quinn is still designated as the gatekeeper of who is in and who is out of the political elites. The revelations emerging from Sally herself regarding her devotion to the occult is perplexing, given her long-standing post as religion writer for the Washington Post, as well as a various other facets of the liberal media machine. Wow, that's crazy. They literally have somebody practicing the occult being a religious writer for the Washington Post. That's wild. That's wild. And it wasn't just Sally dabbling in the dark art of the witchcraft and the operating of mainstream media. Her husband Bradley played an even larger role. The latest revelations surrounding Sally Quinn, the surviving widow of Ben Bradley, the Washington Post powerful executive editor from 1968 to 1991, who then served as the paper's vice president until his death in 2014. These revelations concern Sally's own admission that she casts hex and resorted to use witchcraft to take out, and that is meant in the literal sense, her enemies and political foes. Think about that. These people are admitting, yes, we practice witchcraft. Hillary Clinton, in her book, What Happened?, is talking about how she's wanting to make voodoo dolls of Congress members. And this is what's happening. This is how these are the elites. These are the political elites. These are these godless Luciferians. These are the people, these gatekeepers. This is the Illuminati. This is that hidden cabal of witches, of wizards, of warlocks, of eyes wide shut type of characters of a society like that. So when we talk about occult practice being on the rise, that's not too far off. Why are we talking about Planned Parenthood teaming up with Satanists? This is high occultic magic. What is Pizzagate? What is Pedogate? Why are we talking about pedophiles? Why did Seattle Mayor Ed Murray step down after his 5th allegation of child molestation? These people who are trying to procure bodies, who are trying to promote depravity, that are doing this wickedness, they need blood, they need bodies, they need material. How many times have we talked about Planned Parenthood being caught talking about selling body parts, selling fetuses, selling all kinds of stuff, human trafficking, basically? Why would they be teaming up with Satanists? Why would this type of stuff be happening if they weren't conducting some type of dark ritual? Not strangely enough, Lori, our occasional co-host or the occasional guest that we have on the show, she's going to the CERN facility, I think in Chicago, and she's going to actually film what's going to happen there tomorrow. Apparently they're having an open house, but these people there are trying to make everyone comfortable with what they are doing. This religious freedom, this mindset of just, well, I'm still going to practice this type of stuff. I don't really care how you feel. Why we have witches practicing ritualistic magic every month. Why we have Satanists teaming up with Planned Parenthood. Why we have Hillary Clinton disclosing that, yeah, I practice witchcraft, I practice voodoo. And like I said, don't worry, we will get into this Illuminati themed fashion show. But what we've got to understand is these people, this isn't something simple. This is something, if anything, we've tried to highlight throughout the entirety of the year so far since they've come up here. They're like these witches that Biden Trump. They're like a version of Antifa and Black Lives Matter and Indivisible and White Lives Matter and Onward Together. All these different rogue groups that pop up and start having politically motivated attacks, politically motivated activism. This is like the magical version of it. That's why with the article that we put up, #MagicResistance, because they are trying to do that. They are trying to resist what we see taking place, and clearly we are as well. But there's a magical aspect to it, a spiritual aspect to it, an occult aspect to it. Yes, they might be dabbling in lower level magic, but just like everything else in this pyramidal structure called life, money flows up, crap goes down. Okay, progress goes up, bull crap that everybody has to deal with goes down. These people that are practicing the low level magic, they're doing the work of higher level magicians, higher level witches, higher level occultists. And every month that they're practicing this, like bill collectors, like bill collectors, politicians, like taxes, they are collecting their energy, gathering themselves to get stronger. And they're using these people. They're using these Satanists. They're using these witches. They're using whatever means necessary to do these types of things. I would strongly urge people to go look into Ted Gunderson, where he's talked about the trafficking of children and why this is so bad. Look into things like the Hampstead case. Why are they trying to ritualize children? Go back and listen to, I think, our season 3 episode where we had on Survivor Chris, one of these people who was actually a victim of this ritualistic, this satanic ritual abuse. This stuff is very real. So whether we have witches that are practicing child sacrifice or Satanists practicing child sacrifice, it doesn't matter. These people are still a part of this occult externalization that is taking place, this rise. It's not going to go away. What happens whenever they realize that these low-level spells, they're not enough, they're not sufficient, so they decide to double down on their efforts. They decide to do more spells, different spells. They decide to, like I said, externalize the occult. We no longer want to do the routine monthly spells to protect the world. Nope. We have to do spells in between that. Black masses. A lot of these types of things took place in 2016, Analusis, the year of light. We haven't so much been keeping up on the black masses and the other rituals that are taking place, you know, like the marriage to the beast that just passed, and some of the other occult things that are happening. But what I'm trying to illustrate is they are upping the ante. They have their foot in the door and they are trying to do more. So let's take a look at this. This is something that is doing rounds around the internet. It's already got 20,000 views on just Instagram alone. It's an Illuminati themed fashion show held at a London Catholic church, and this was put up by World Truth TV by Eddie Lavin, September 22nd. And it says, thoughts? St. Andrew's Church was used as a location for a Black Mass fashion show. A troupe of models pranced the runway inside a Catholic church while rocking Turkish fashion designer Dilara Findigolu's Illuminati-inspired fashion line from Fashion Week. The controversial pieces make up Dilara's Spring-Summer 2018 collection and are likely to attract the attention of deep-pocketed fashion goers from around the world, such as Rihanna, who's previously been spotted in the designer's exotic rags. Dilara's newest designs range from a Nightmare Before Christmas look to a Beetlejuice meets Lacuna Coil witchcraft vampire feel, and were introduced by average models who were caked with pale face paint and temporary tattoos. One of the show's highlights was when Dilara utilized drag queen Violet Chachki to sport a devilishly red-hot outfit which showcased Chachi's hair and proverbial horns, while Illuminati-esque imagery filled the background. So a lot of people have been, you know, commenting, this is weird, this is strange. This is high occultic magic. This is the ultimate level of depravity. For these people to do these types of things, they're saying, again, they no longer care who knows that these people are practicing these types of things. We wrote an article for AWD News about a TV show that was actually going on in London. I think this, ironically enough, I think this might be it. But it was an entire TV show based upon just that. MK Ultra, mind control, the Illuminati, doing these types of things. You see, the temple is symbolic in the Bible. It's your mind. It tells you God. It tells you that God doesn't dwell in those places made by man-made hands. For these people to do that, and you can see on the bottom part on the floor, you know, with the checkered, the checkered tile. This is an Illuminati church. Who's to say that the people who helped organize this event aren't part of the Illuminati? Seeing this immediately made me start thinking of the Gothard Tunnel ritual, where they basically talked about CERN, or where they, through interpretive dancing, they talked about the birthing of a new race, CERN, portals, the devil, the new man, and so many different things. This is the same type of symbolism, the same type of imagery that I see, except instead we are now seeing them put witches in the church. We are seeing them put warlocks, vampires, these occultists. We're seeing them put them in the church. So what kind of symbol does this send? What kind of message does this send? These 501c3 churches that people go to, they're not churches. They're dens of devils. Like pimps, these people they want their money. So why are they having fashion shows inside of churches? It's to say not only do they have control of the area, but they will influence your fashion. They will influence your religion. They will influence your mind. They will influence your culture. This is how these people operate. They don't do things half-handedly. For this to be coming out the same time as we are hearing about Hillary Clinton practicing voodoo, Planned Parenthood teaming up with Satanists, and now an Illuminati-themed fashion show held inside of a church. On top of that, we also heard about how the scope of Anthony Weiner's pedophilia was unveiled by prosecutors. It's laid out in gruesome detail. That Catholic bishop, the one in Santa Fe, New Mexico, that was naming names, just went through and started naming names, a full list of people involved in this satanic organization, in this pedophilia, in pedo game. This spirit cooking, all of this stuff is it's not coincidental. They are trying to externalize the occult. They're trying to make it trendy. What happens whenever you have a whole bunch of people who have no idea what they're doing, contacting spirits, opening up portals, opening up doorways, communing with these entities? There is an article on Mysterious Universe this morning. I didn't post it up here, but it says that a lady was trading demon or Medicaid for demon aid, and the idea behind that was this lady was trying to cure cancer by calling on demons, calling upon demons to try to fix these problems. Right here, I have it on my my phone right here in front of me. Which bypasses Medicaid and treats illnesses with demon aid. And this is from Mysterious Universe, September 22nd, and it's by Paul Seaburn. I'm only going to read a little bit of it. It says health insurance continues to be a hot topic in the U.S., and the pain and suffering the discussion has been causing for years seems to be itself a pre-existing condition. As a result, one woman in Louisiana is offering a New Orleans-style type of treatment by calling upon Satan to treat and cure human ailments. Will affordable care and Medicaid be replaced with devil care? One thing you can do for healing is get a voodoo doll and bring that doll to life by making it an image of the person you want to heal. Then you call out your spiritual connections and ask for them to look after the person. You can put different stones around that doll to make a protection vortex. I connected physically to this young man, and I filled up his aura with my healing energy. I also connected with my spirit guide, Astaroth, a demon who uses the power of Lucifer, sometimes known as Satan. In a recent interview, Savannah, no last name, calls herself Black Witch S, and her methods for treating a young man with leukemia sound a lot like convolutions of conventional health care. She's not a primary care witch, but more like a healthcare website. Before you get a real treatment, she first recommends that over-the-counter remedies like voodoo dolls and stones. If that doesn't work, she acts like an insurance company, determining what the patients can afford before referring them to Astaroth, a demonic physician assistant who may be able to help more often. Calls upon the specialist, Satan. So basically what we're talking about is how she's calling upon demons to look after these people. If you ask me, then this is, again, more dark magic, because this is how these people work. This is a part of this great inversion that we see taking place on so many different levels. They have to tell you that they're doing something in order for it to have twice as much an effect. This lady is literally over here calling on sick people and using Satan, using Astaroth, using these different powers to, air quotes, heal them. She could be easily doing deals, having these people come to her only for her to offer their souls up. It's inverted. That's how you have to look at this. What is the point of having this, the Illuminati themed fashion show at a church? The symbolism. This is unholy. This is beyond demonic. This is Antichrist. That's what we're talking about. Everything that we are seeing here is Antichrist. I mean, yeah, you know, Freemasons, church, the Catholic Church, pedophilia, all of this. But this is them saying they no longer care. They're coming out and saying we are going to externalize the hierarchy. We're going to externalize the occult. If you don't see how wicked we really are, if you're not down for how wicked we're going to go, I guess you won't be involved in what we're doing here. Because that's all of what this graduates into, or evolves into, or devolves into, unfortunately. Yeah, how's it go? You know, you're scratching atheist, you're getting a Satanist. You know? And that's what we're dealing with. You can try to justify this, but how many of those people do you think are actual witches? How many of these people, these air quotes models, are actual witches, warlocks, priests, poleros, babalaos, shamans, you name it? And I'm not saying shamans are demonic. I'm saying the people that we have today, and I talked about this before earlier this week, the people that we are dealing with today, they are conscious criminals. They are committed to evil. They are committed to the wickedness that we see taking place, and they are about it. They are trying to have this. They are trying to act in the wake of it. They want to create more wickedness. That's how these people get power, is by furthering the depravity. These people are conscious criminals. So if they can make themselves that much more wicked, they will. They will find ways. And that's how this works. If we continue to let these people drag us down into their pit, their swamp, they'll have us operating there. These people aren't preaching true freedom. This isn't light. They tell you that you can be liberated, you can live free, do what thou will shall be the whole of the law, right? That's what they tell you. But that's all a mistake, because these people are having you abdicate your own power, your own free will, to advance their agenda, advance what they're doing. These people, they have no power. That's why they're too busy trying to steal it from others or manipulate it. That's how these wicked people are. So everything that we're talking about here, it has a intrinsic purpose, a very slow and gradual purpose. We haven't so much heard about the Satanic Temple, about how many different temples they're opening up, how many different after-school Satan programs they're having, you know, how many other things that they're doing. That was all last year. We're seeing the effects now. This is what, like I said, what we get with religious freedom, where you have satanic invocations before civic meetings. Mayors being arrested for pedophilia and child molestation. Satanists teaming up with Planned Parenthood to fight the state's restrictions on abortion. Saying basically, we need the fetuses. We need what you don't want. How much more evil does it get? These people, what we are dealing with is evil trying to rise, and it only comes in at a certain time. The only reason it's here now is because it's had a foothold. And we have to do what we do and shine a light, again, on these wicked people. They can try to parade around in their fancy clothes, because that's what happens. The devil masquerades as an angel of light. He can't come to you bearing his true face. It's the devil. It's evil incarnate. Can't show you what that looks like. It would destroy you. You would know. It has to parade around in frilly clothes. It's got to look nice. It's got to sell. It's got to make sense. But even this doesn't make sense. Again, like I said, with the Gother Tunnel ritual, this is all this reminds me of, is another show. More of this occult ritual. More of them trying to externalize the occult. However, that's all I really have for you guys. I want to make sure you guys check out some of the stuff that we have on the website. Please make sure you check out some of the previous work that we've done. The episode, our organized occult operation, where we talked about a lot of this stuff regarding Pedogate, Pizzagate, Spirit Cooking, Ted Gunderson, and everything else we see here. Please definitely go back and listen to our occult-themed episodes, because this is a very serious topic. I will try to get more people on to explain like how intense this is, but this is a very big deal. This is them saying, you know what? We're going to start having our own public rituals. Remember last year with CERN, where they had that ritual right outside the facility? More of these things are going to happen. The Gother Tunnel ritual, the CERN sacrifice, and now this inside of a church. This is Antichrist. This is depraved. This is depraved. This is satanic. These people are trying to do just this. They are trying to get us involved and think all of this magic work that they're doing. I don't want to say New Age, because there's a lot of different categories. You have ancient spirituality, then you have New Age spirituality, you have modern spirituality, and so many other things. But I'm ranting. My point is this. Definitely go back and listen to some of our occult-themed episodes. They explain and clarify what we're dealing with today. This is monumental. And as this story develops and other things come out with it, we will be keeping our finger on the pulse, because these Satanists and these Luciferians, they're very deceptive people. They're very, very tricky. And there's a reason why they're trying to trigger us, because of the energy, because of where things are at. It's crazy. It is crazy. But I digress. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll have it in the description bar below. And as always, guys, stay vigilant, expose lies, and share truth. This is Noisera, Freedom Faction, out.